Suho, after destroying the boss, slyly asks if the door will open now, and the hunter confirms that it will. As the boss has been defeated, the portal reopens and they both return through this. Everyone watches them in awe, and one of the guards remembers that he was the one who caught Gusik Choi earlier and who Captain Kang was looking for. The guards then check the clear time and are in disbelief at how fast they cleared the dungeon. Hunter Hyung Nim then excuses himself because he wants to meet with his team and thanks Suho one last time for his incredible help. After changing clothes, Suho comes face to face with Captain Kang, who is standing outside of the stockroom, excited to meet him. The captain then asks him if he's Park Suho and introduces himself and asks Suho for a few minutes. They both go to the cafe and talk in private. Kang then offers him the chance to join the Sheila Guild and promises him to provide a good working environment for him, but Suho immediately refuses. This makes Kang angry because Suho didn't give it a second thought. Kang hides his disappointment and asks Suho if he's associated with another guild, and if that's the case, they'll submit an official offer to his guild. Suho again says that he doesn't have a guild and is just working alone. Kang then tries to convince him by mentioning that the Sheila Guild is ranked 4th and is one of the strongest in the world. He tries to tell Suho that how joining a guild can help in many ways, but Suho again refuses because he can't stand working under someone. After the encounter, Suho returns home, but Junho and his son aren't there. He thinks they might be spending some father-son time together, which is good for them. He then goes to the rooftop and lays down to rest, but the granny taunts him for lying down and being lazy. Suho then obediently begins to help hang the laundry. She then asks him once again if he's actually the older brother of Junho because she believes that he's aging backwards. Suho jokingly replies that he's the older brother and he's older than he looks. Granny doesn't understand it, but she believes it because the world has become a stranger place in the last decade. She then tells him to look after himself because he now has a family to love and care for. Suho assures her that he can't be killed, but she warns him that the ones who say such things are the ones who die first. Junho and Gunwoo return, and they ask Grandma where Suho is. Tells them that he's waiting upstairs for them. Suho then gives Junho an envelope, and when he asks what's in it, Suho tells them that he's $50,000 so he can pay off all his debt now. Junho starts to cry because he never thought this day would come, but Suho tells them to stop crying and go pay off his debt. Junho thanks God for such a life-saving favor and leaves to pay it off. While Gunwoo plays with the dog, Suho checks the screen and sees a message that says that the subject follows the user. Assign a name. Suho is initially confused, but figures out that the system wants him to name the dog. Suho then asks him what they should name the dog, and Gunwoo names him Baiku. He also sees that Baiku's stat screen, which shows he's only a level 1 with a combat capability of 3. Suho then starts to play with the both of them, and just like that, time passes. Junho's truck finally returns, so they both go downstairs to meet him. But to their surprise, they see Junho covered in blood struggling to walk, and suddenly Junho collapses. Gunwoo tries to wake him up, and Suho wonders what happened to his brother. Afterwards, we see mobs in an office. They're all discussing the betting odds of the SBF Championship tournament when they heard a loud noise outside the door. The door opens and one of the henchmen tells them that they're all in trouble, and suddenly is grabbed from behind. Someone is beating up all the mobs and they wonder who it is. The mobs looking at the doorway see eyes pierce through the darkness. The mobs threaten whoever's on the other side of the door, but those eyes were of Suho. Suho lifts the desk with just one hand and throws it at the mobs, causing a lot of destruction, taking out most of the mobs and with just one go. He then slowly moves ahead towards the boss, who still doesn't know what's happening. Suho then asks him if he's King Jong-soo. He replies that he is. Suho then tells him that he's there to settle a debt. Kim warns him that he shouldn't attack because if he's an awakener, the government won't like it. Suho doesn't care about this warning and slaps him so hard his teeth fall out. He continues to beat him up and tells him that he should have just graciously accepted the payment. They all then ask for forgiveness from Suho and promises to never harass Junho, saying that his debt is settled. Suho then leaves the place without wasting any time, but the boss is still angry. He tells his subordinates he has connections with powerful people, and that he'll definitely take revenge. In the office, Captain Kang arrives at the guild headquarters and shows his boss Mr. Park Suho's profile. He then tells him that he's the best one they could get, but when they both try to look more into his profile, a message pops up saying that access is denied. Park finds it shocking and interesting at the same time, so they both hack into the system to check his profile. They're impressed after looking at his stats that he can't be just a rookie. Thinking that there's more to this, check his awakened stats. It states that his awakened skills are materialization, bread and water. Kang then says that they should get everything to get this guy, but his boss believes that he's not just a mercenary. They check and find that he's been missing for 10 years, which makes them believe that he's a secret government agent. Kang still tries to convince Park, but he refuses, saying that it's a waste of time to pursue anything they can't attain. Kang then asks him for a weekly report, but again is rejected. Suho arrives at the hospital to meet his brother. and Junho then reminds him that the mercenary exam is tomorrow. Suho then tells him that he knows and he's fully prepared, but the idea of working under someone is not good for him because he's used to being the king of the jungle. Junho then tells him that he could search for some high-rank guilds for him, but Suho again refuses because he plans on building his own guild. We then see Su Young again at the Wigner Bureau headquarters. Her boss then scolds her because of the 2 breakouts in her area she's in charge of. Su Young then asks him if he can't get anything done if she isn't around, and after a bit of banter, he shows her a letter and she's angry because this is another job they want her to do. This time is to be a proctor for an exam. Her boss warns her not to reject too many applicants like always. At the examination center, a lot of people are ready to take the exam. We also see a guy live streaming the entire event when Suho crashes his livestream. Then Major Kim Young-soo introduces himself. He tells everyone that they'll be assigned to one of 21 supervisors. Everyone starts to wish for a good supervisor for a free pass, and the major says that the assignment will be completely random via lottery. The process starts and everyone begins to get their supervisors. The streamer Hang Dong-soo and Suho both get the same supervisor, number 15. Surprisingly, the number 15 is Su Young, and Suho recognizes her right away. Everyone begins to formulate strategies in the locker room, and Suho notices that Dong-soo is sad. He asks him why he's sad, because just a second ago he was happy. He tells Suho that he's screwed, because the blonde trainer is a witch. She fails everyone based on her own mood and is very rough. Suho then tells him that he's just making excuses, which enrages him. Dong-soo then asks him to show some respect to his elders. Suho tells him to settle things like a man and not be a crybaby, so Dong-soo gets angry because he believes that he's stronger and agrees to fight Suho. When Su Young arrives at the locker room, she discovers that no one is there and wonders what's happening. Inside the ring, Suho and Dong-soo are in the cage ready to fight. Dong-soo reminds him of what he's done, because he believes that he's going to beat him to death. He tells Suho that he's a rising Mewtwo boxer, but Suho doesn't know what that is. Everyone believes that Suho is an idiot, and so they start cheering for Dong-soo. Dong-soo is excited because he believes that it's going to be an easy fight for him, and he jokes that he's not going to pay his medical bills. Dong-soo then launches an attack on Suho, but before anything could happen, So Young arrives and stops the fight. She orders everyone to go back, otherwise she'll fail them all immediately. Everyone rushes back except for Dong-soo and Suho. She then asks them if they want to fail after doing such a thing. Dong-soo starts to explain that it's not actually his fault, but Su Young stops him. She tells them that there's no need for explanations, because one of them has to take the blame. She tells them both to continue their fight, and the loser will be eliminated. Thank you all for dropping by. If you like this content, please consider liking and subscribing. I'll be back with the next part soon.